popular guy.
I don't know about that. Nowhere else to be for you guys.
It's a pretty early road game for you.
Yeah.
And just the only time you can get it in, or does it even matter?
Well, nowadays you just got to you got so many games, you got to get them in. So I mean, we play 7 in November, but I wanted to try to play a one true road game in November.
Yeah.
Absolutely, especially with a veteran team. Just trying to, and obviously economically, it's a little easier trip to get on the bus, go up 75, than to get on a plane and go to California or something. Especially when our guys are bearing down on the last 3 weeks of school.
So, whenever you play the first road game of the year, does it tell you anything about your team this early?
You know, the whole thing is a process. Just you get your team out of their comfort zone. You know, you get the other student section yelling at you. It's just it forces you to get better. You know, no matter what happens, it's going to force you to grow as a team. So I think that part of it's good. You know, it's also RPI-wise good to play some road games. But you know, I think the biggest thing for us is putting ourselves in a road environment for the first time and seeing how we handle it.
3 games in a 6-game or in a 6-day span. Tell you a little bit about conditioning right now. Can it?
You know, I think our depth is the key to weathering so many games in a short period of time. So this is our 3rd game in 6 days. We have 4 games in 6 days coming up next week. So hopefully for us, that's where not relying on one main score, somebody that could wear her down and have a bad night, you get beat. So hopefully that plays to our advantage. But yeah, conditioning is a big thing, really with our style of play this year. But the guys would much rather play games than practice. I can assure you that. So it's just, you know, how you handle things as a coach. Like we took yesterday off. The guys just lifted weights yesterday. It's a long year. I think people tend to forget our guys go to school. They go to school as well. Yeah.
You got 6 guys averaging in double figures. I know it's only 2 games, but last year you had none for a good portion of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I would say,
I guess I was going to ask you, have they embraced this, figured it out more quickly than even you thought?
I think, you know, back to conditioning and running is a lot easier said than done. When you recruit, everybody says, oh, you're going to run, we want to run, I want to run. And then they get to practice, nobody wants to run. So hopefully now, you know, the guys that are having more fun, scoring more points, are going to be even embrace our conditioning program and the way we practice even more. Because it's not easy. You know, we got to try to train to play this way. You know, we run the floor a lot, and we're in constant motion, especially on the offensive end, with the way we're trying to train the floor. So, you know I would like it if I was getting more assists and scoring more points as a player. So, but again, you know, when you have success, the kids tend to embrace things a little bit more. So, hopefully, we'll see some of that effect.
Have the results been quicker than you thought?
You know, I just think, look, Sunday snowballed on Robert Morris. You know, we just don't have a second unit to come. And we got guys in our supposed second unit that they're good players and are trying to get even more playing time. They want to start. So they're, you know, you got to play against us for really 40 minutes and no let up. And it just kind of snowballed. You know, our defense was pretty good too the other night as well, or Sunday, I thought.
Have you gotten any feedback from fans about how much fun it has been to watch this team play for 2 games?
No, the only feedback I get is from Mercy Montessori on the quality of Sammy's home. Other than that, my outside world is very limited during the season. You know, I've learned to enjoy sending out some Twitter stuff, but you know, during the season I don't read. I watch film. You know, I heard the Bengals lost last night while I was watching Utah State and San Diego, Virginia and George Washington, and I mean that. They're both very good games. It's just what I happen to do for a living. So Yeah, I would like for our fans to embrace what's going on. That'd be great.
George Washington had to catch your eye as a potential.
Yeah, well, you know, obviously we got to worry about Nebraska, but George Washington's a very good team that's in that tournament. We're in. They'll be in Brooklyn with us.
One of the guys, the conditioning aspect really showed up. It looks like Corey.
Yeah.
And as he was saying the other day, I'm not carrying a piano on my back.
That's my line.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
okay.
good when the players start stealing your lines.
Yeah.
Because last year it was get the piano off your back while he was running down the floor, especially early in the season. You know, he and Gary Clark, it's the biggest adjustment for those two guys. You know, as far as just straight running with our style of play. The rest of the guys, the type of athletes they are, it's easier for them. But both those guys have gotten in much better shape, and I still think that we'll play our way into even better condition.
Kind of showed up there at the end of the first half. There was a play where him and Jacob trapped the guy on the Is that kind of a play like he would not have been able to make the last?
Absolutely. He also had a blocked shot on a corner three-point shot. Corey did. So he's just much more mobile and much more active. And it's making him a much more effective defensive player. And it's going to give him a lot more minutes because obviously if he catches the ball in the low post, he's a high percentage scorer.
An aspect where you can play him and Octavius together if you want to. Or
Which you saw that the other day against Robert Morris first time. For the first stretch, you saw a little bit of that. Obviously, it's matchups depending on who you're going to play. I mean, we still haven't really had to go small. You know, some teams go really small and just try to shoot all threes on you. But you know, our bigger line, we're better with a bigger lineup, I think. So, and the way our defense is structured, it's to be able to play against smaller teams, even though we're bigger. So that way, it's to our advantage. It obviously would keep us in the advantage.
What problems does Bowling Green present? What are you going to have to look out for with them?
Well, we don't know a lot about them because Mike's a new coach, coming from Miami of Florida. Been a coach there, and they got a long time. I know from what I know about Miami of Florida how hard they're going to play in the defensive end, and they're going to compete really hard. And it's their biggest home game of the year. They got nobody else coming in. The caliber of a Cincinnati coming into their gym. So it's obviously a big opportunity for their players. So we're going to have to match their excitement level, their intensity level about the game. But I think that defensively, their man-to-man defense, probably the best that will. This will be our fifth game. I count the exhibitions where I think their half-court man-to-man defense will probably be the best we've seen so far.
Knowing that you guys are going to get, a heck of a shot from them, is that something you make your players aware of? Is that something you use as a tool to challenge them?
Yeah, I think you got to understand. Hopefully, the reason you got to understand your opponent, but you don't schedule this game if you don't have a veteran team, and they understand that Bowling Green's a dangerous team because they're from the MAC conference, and we got enough kids that understand the quality of basketball in the MAC conference, and they get that it's a big game for Bowling Green. Our guys understand that, and they're mature enough to respect the opponent. So if you don't in a situation like this, you can really set yourself up for failure. So I got a lot of confidence in our guys that they understand the situation.
How are you feeling?
I feel great. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I don't think anyone cares about how I feel.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You feeling
Just
all right?
checking. Yeah,
You
feel
doing
good.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't feel that great if anyone's curious.
You
I was
guys
say, does anyone care about food shields?
you guys are all down to the bank still 1 in the morning.
Thanks, Coach.
I was not. I was at home.
I was in bed by 10.
I was watching Oregon and Baylor.